safety issue, is it whatever, you know, but we also got to consider in this whole process, okay, if we take money today, how is that going to impact us when it comes to debt reduction and reserves, okay, and some of the other projects that have to be accomplished so that we can continue to do that. Tough decisions. Obviously, personnel safety is clearly a no-brainer. As Councilwoman Castillo says, if we're putting employees in jeopardy, fix it, okay? If it's going to be an immediate hazard, it's a no-brainer, fix it. You know, can we wait till October 1 to address it? Okay, yeah, then let's put that as a first quarter thing. Will it wait 6 months? Great, let's put that as a second quarter. And that's what we'll be doing, hopefully in this budget process.
I think that if Andrew could identify or prioritize some of these things that are going to potentially break tomorrow. I mean, that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about waiting 90 days or whatever. We're talking about tomorrow. What's going to happen?
Sounds to me
Today,
like the rake has to be replaced already.
exactly. So what do we have to
Get
do
in the weeds.
to move on that rather than waiting for the big vision? What do we have to do?
Right now, we need to take care of the clarifiers in that ID. And on the oxidation ditch, we need to take care of the bearings and the shafts.
Do we need council approval for that?
No,
Okay.
no,
well
we
then-
got it, we just, that's what this is for, and I'm
Okay.
sorry, I don't mean to be rude. That's what this is for, to get the sense of, okay, the council's direction is this, we understand, and to get some pointers, and we appreciate that from everybody, so. Instead of going through it again, we've got some slides in there to let you know, other capital projects that need to be considered, and for sure, this, storage tank at Plaza Well at a $60,000 estimated cost is something that we will be bringing to the council during this budget, cycle. And this, for the council, the $50,000 that we had allocated towards, the planning that really didn't fit the use of that, we're proposing, or we're gonna propose at a later date that money from the capital projects be used for this tank replacement, and it's not, this one doesn't have to wait for the planning, information to come. This is an actual issue that needs to be addressed, so.
Is that the projects?
Yes.
No.
We keep going on, and all of these are things that you can look at, so you can know Andrew did an excellent job bringing these issues, some small dollar amounts, others larger, to Laura's attention, and they have worked to compile this, and this will be put into the proposed budget. And of course, we've taken every single thing that the council has stated here tonight to allow us, to guide us in the direction that we need to.
What was the purpose of that additional third motor?
On the
On Lee Street well?
because of the growth that's going to happen towards the east. We need to be proactive. and start.
Is that, but that in itself is something that you can gauge right now without anything further.
Okay.
There's already strain on the two motors that are there, and you can tell that the third one is.
And it's set, when they built it, it's ready, all they did is put the motor, very simple.
And that's pretty much, everything on the slide show that the council can take a look at on small, large amounts of maintenance that needs to be done, and some capital projects that we're looking at. We'll take back what was discussed tonight and actually compose the water and sewer budget, proposed budget to bring back. And many of you made the statement tonight, it's a long list with a little bit of money. So that's what we need guidance on, which direction do you want?
Well, clearly, part of zero-based budget, okay, is we're not talking about the current fiscal year. We're talking about fiscal year 14, or 13, 14, and beyond. Clearly, there are capital improvements that have to be. Clearly, there is repairs that have to be done. Clearly, we have to have employees to do. Clearly, we have to have facilities to do. So really the ultimate question in this initial part of the budget process is what is it gonna take to do the things that we have to do? This is the amount. Okay, how much are we gonna get in revenue? Okay, well, let's subtract that. How much are we gonna get in fees and other things? Let's take that. Then what's left? How much of that is debt? How much of that is operating expense? And that's what we use to calculate the proposed tax rate. Let's do this in a process that is economically conservative, but let's not risk public safety. Let's not do something because it's going to potentially increase taxes and put it off for 3 years when we could do it today for $50,000, but if we wait 3 years, it's going to cost $2 million. Let's not put those kinds of things on. Let's not build a budget of fluff. Let's build a budget going into the next fiscal year that says, this is what we need, okay? And if that increases the tax rate 5%, then that increases the tax rate 5%. But then we can stand in front of the citizens of our community and say, this is what it's going to take, and this is why. We need to fix this because it's going to break. We need to replace this. We're growing in this direction and we need to add things here. And this is what we're going to do in this fiscal year to accomplish that. And this is how much it's going to cost. Okay? That is zero-based budgeting. That is following the comptroller's guidelines for setting an appropriate tax rate. Okay? Is not worry about how much it's going to cost. Worry about what it's going to take to run the city. Don't worry. Andy, if you need 15 more employees, you need 15 more employees. Okay? If we're going to have to hire police officers, if we're going to have to buy police cars, if we're going to have to make repairs to significant repairs to our utility system, that's the cost of running the city. Okay? And let's build that real cost. Okay? And plan it appropriately and say, okay, well, these are the things that we have to do in fiscal year 13-14. It's going to cost this much money. Of that much money, we can fund part of it with maybe a certificate of obligation. We can fund part of it with revenue. We're going to fund part of it with some existing capital improvement dollars that we have. But that still leaves this much money that we're going to have to collect in taxes. Then we're dealing with a real number, and it's a straightforward process. But I don't think anybody here is saying, Andy, shave it down, don't spend it. Well, at least what I'm saying is, tell us what it's going to take. You guys are the experts, and tell us what it's going to take to run this city effectively and efficiently, and then we'll support you with that budget. And we'll stand in front of the taxpayers and say, this is what's got to happen. Okay? And why is it this much this year? But we can also stand in front of the taxpayers and say, in this process, this is what it's going to take to cost to run the city this year. But this is what we're thinking it's going to cost the city next year and the following year. That we are not just focused on this tiny piece of it, we're focused 10 years down the road. And they'll support us.
Okay. Point taken. Well, we very appreciative, the staff and I, and will continue to move forward with that in mind. Mayor?
Questions, sir? Is okay?
Be hereby adjourned at 6:35. Coffee, maybe if you want coffee.
Let me ask you a question, Andy.
Yes, sir.
Based on the discussion that we had tonight about capital repair and replacement and the rate water or rate increase as it relates to this budget, would it be more effective based on some of the things we said, based on the water model issues, some of the wastewater plant, to say, table it for 2 weeks, incorporate some of those things, and then come back to the council.
We can do it right tonight. There's no reason, I mean, because the amendment, the way it's given to you now, there's really no change in it. Like, there's no play in it with the exception of the 105.
But what
So-
I'm saying is, I would rather that we come back and say, we simply said, prioritize. Figure out what the best source of dollars is. Okay, be it personnel dollars or how we can do this, and feather it into next year's budget. And then come back to the council and say, okay, yeah, we've increased the rates, it's gonna do this, and this is how we're gonna do it. But also in this amendment, let's marry the water sewer model issues, and let's initiate some initial capital repairs to sewer.
And we can do that. And
Well,
we
well,
can- and let me tell you why we can do that is because, she's done an excellent job. And like you said, it's approvable tonight, but I did rush her to get it done. And, knowing the capability that she has, we can incorporate all of that and present it in a manner that will satisfy the council and be inclusive of everything.
Well, I think that would be a good idea. I'm just recommending that to you. You guys gotta make that decision, I mean,
Because, yeah, some of these may not be able to be done in 3 months.
well, and that's what I'm saying, to try and pass it down with those things, when we don't know the answers. Let's take a couple weeks, let's get the answers, let's identify the priorities, and do the whole package for one time.
I agree, and I know that Laura agrees too, for the simple fact that we can allow her the time that she deserves instead of pushing her to get to work. I'd like for you to concentrate on your report, your financial report that you're gonna be doing, where we're at, and that we can work on. She's been working, some long hours to get it done.
We're discussing city business as a forum.
That's good.
It's a meeting.